Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is part 2 of the 8-part series that is going through the 8 keys of the 8 keys to the foundation of your harmonious union, as discussed in Jeff and Shaleia's book, Twin Flames: Finding Your Ultimate Lover. In the previous video, I discussed honesty, so if you haven't watched that video, I definitely recommend that you go back and watch that. I'll put this in a playlist so that you all can watch them in order, because I'm going to build on what I discussed in the last video, but this should make sense to you whether you've watched it or not. But I do recommend that you watch them in order, and I also recommend that you pick up this book so that you can get the most out of this series. So diving right in, this next key to harmonious union is going to feel very similar to the honesty one because it is kind of built on the same idea. And that second key is trust. Trust is something that you build through that honesty that we discussed in the last video. You want to be completely honest with yourself. You want to be completely honest with your twin flame. And in turn, you want to respect each other's honesty. You don't want to shut someone down. You don't want to shut your twin flame down. You don't want to shut yourself down as you're being honest with yourself and they're being honest with you. You want to just respect that is how they feel in this moment. That is how you feel in this moment. And that starts to build the trust that you're not going to fly off the handle every time they're honest with you, that they're not going to leave just because you're being honest. And while you can't control the actions of your twin flame, like maybe you'll experience being honest with your twin flame and see them freak out and leave in that moment. Know that that's not reflective of, oh, you did something wrong. That could be pointing to you're being honest and truly honest, but there is a part of you that's still running away from that truth. That's just an invitation to use the mirror exercise and love yourself deeper. That's not a place to say, oh, well, I was honest and my twin flame ran away. That's just a place for you to love yourself deeper with the mirror exercise. But what we really want to talk about here is how you develop that trust. Like I said, part of that is being completely honest with yourself and allowing yourself to feel how you feel and respecting that part of yourself. But it's also trusting in your ability to heal. It's also trusting in your intuition. It's allowing yourself to fully trust yourself and your process of coming back to yourself, coming back to love yourself, and knowing that no matter what comes up, that you will love yourself through it. And you build this, again, by being really honest with yourself and by, being persistent in your inner work and being persistent in being with yourself, even when you have really uncomfortable emotions, whether that be about yourself or your twin flame. You commit to yourself. You commit to being present with yourself. You commit to your inner work. You commit to the honesty, and you allow yourself to just be who you are and be where you're at and love yourself regardless. And that can seem pretty simplistic to say and hard to do in practice to, oh, well, I don't trust myself because I self-sabotage. Well, look at that. Look at that honestly and, apply the mirror exercise there. Why do you self-sabotage? Why do you break down that trust with yourself? And maybe it's because you don't believe that you deserve better. Maybe it's because you're afraid of being successful or you're afraid of failure. and just be honest with yourself and love yourself there. It's okay that it's a process. It's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay to not get everything right the first try or even the second try. You're God's perfect child. And in order to build that foundation of love and trust with yourself, you have to be willing to go through it all with yourself and not expect perfection from yourself, because you are already perfect. You don't have to do anything to be perfect. You are already perfect. And I think we fall into this idea that we need to be perfection, but just showing up for yourself, just choosing to love yourself, just choosing to be 100% honest with yourself is how you're going to repair that foundation of trust with first yourself, and then with your twin flame. And something I wanted to read out of the book is, this idea that just being honest with yourself. What does honesty not mean? It doesn't mean you share every little thing on your mind exactly as you think. It does not mean that you tell your partner exactly how you feel about them when you're extra upset and really just need to take space and calm down. It does not mean that you say things that you know are going to hurt your twin flame just to purposely hurt them because you're angry or to vent onto them, even if you're thinking this way about them for a while. Instead, just do the mirror exercise and resolve it within yourself. And skipping down further, you share, I'm just going to paraphrase this, but they say that you need to honestly share your authentic feelings, but you approach your relationship with honesty and compassion for one another. You don't sugarcoat it, because that's not what your relationship's built on. It's just built on the foundation of your honesty. And you want to have discernment in how you share yourself honestly and authentically. I said this in my last video, but you don't want to dump on your twin flame. You don't want to stab and poke at your twin flame. You don't want to just try to hurt them because you're feeling hurt. You just be yourself, honestly. And if you're feeling angry and upset, do the mirror exercise first. If you're not sure if you're sharing yourself authentically or you're just upset, do the mirror exercise first as a rule. Don't just say I don't think I like my twin flame. I'm going to tell them that I don't like them because Jeff did that in the honesty section, like I mentioned in the last video. That's not what you want to do. You want to express yourself from a place of peace, because that's where God is guiding you to express, and not from, I'm just going to express it because I need to get it out. You want to express it because, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and you want to open that up to be released through you just being you and not a place of anger and upset. So if you're having trouble trusting yourself, work on that first. You're not going to have trust with your twin flame until you build that trust within yourself. Because again, they're going to reflect everything out of alignment with love. They're going to reflect everything that is within you. So if you're not being honest with yourself, if you're not trusting yourself, you're going to experience your twin flame not being honest and not trusting you, or being dodgy, so that you don't trust them either. So build that foundation of trust with yourself, and whether that means that you just start small and start being honest with how you feel with yourself, if you just take small steps of making smaller commitments to yourself and following through on those things, whatever it is that you need to do to kind of start small and make those little commitments to yourself to build that trust over time, do that, and don't make promises to yourself that you can't keep. Don't ignore your intuition. Honor yourself and where you're at, and that will start to build a foundation of trust, more so than trying to, I'm going to go all in and I'm going to commit to myself, and I'm gonna exercise every single day for an hour every day, and then you break that promise to yourself, and that's not being honest with yourself, right? That's not being honest with, oh well, I can actually do that. That doesn't feel good to commit to, because you're not actually able to keep that up, and that breaks honesty with yourself. Or if you aren't honest with yourself and you're telling yourself that you're I'm loving myself when you're not actually loving yourself, or you know, I'm doing great when you're actually feeling really miserable inside. You want to be really honest with how you feel, and that will build that trust, and then your twin flame will reflect that back to you. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you need support in moving through your own trust blocks, you can find my services at sacredtwinflameunion.com, and I will see you all in the next video.